Welcome everyone to another session of With Purpose. And today we are very excited and intrigued to welcome Marcelle Cruz, who is Senior Director of RGM Capabilities for Latin America at PepsiCo, to our upcoming With Purpose Fireside Chat. With deep expertise in revenue growth management, Marcelle leads strategic development of RGM capacities across Latin America, driven transformation through AI, machine learning, digital acceleration, and data driven insights. Her roles focus on defining market maturity and frameworks, adapting strategies based on the regional needs, and enhancing training programs like revenue expert to upskill future revenue leaders. And she is also instrumental in building analytical strategies, establishing standardized processes, and ensuring businesses can navigate through evolution of pricing, trade promotion, and portfolio optimization with data-driven approach. Marcelle, we are truly honored to have you with us today, and I'm really excited to see the insights which we are going to gain with you.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Of course, I am happy to share with you my passion for revenue growth management and share part of not my experience, all my learnings through more than 25 years in this career.
Right. Marcelle, talking about your 25 years of experience in RGM, can you share a bit about your career journey and how you found your passion in revenue growth management?
Yeah, it's so curious because when I was in the university, I thought I want to be a finance people, right? I started my career there, but after I have some opportunities to fund in different commercial areas. Actually, I spent like 8 years in different departments in finance, marketing, commercial areas, like a director of some countries in Central America. And after I moved to innovation. But after that, I have a very short term in Nielsen company. You know what is Nielsen? Yeah. But in category management. After that, I moved to Coca-Cola FEMSA. Coca-Cola FEMSA is the biggest bottler for Coca-Cola company in the world, right? In that moment, I have looked because Coca-Cola FEMSA is one of the first companies, at least in LATAM, to have revenue growth management like a formal area. It's done more than, 18 years ago. So I was to invite to lead one area. Then the call was business intelligence, include demand planning, all the sales and operation process, revenue management, and insights. But in this area, I understand which one is the real value that you have when you have a commercial discussion with the different commercial areas, and you have the analysis and you have the right data, because you have the right arguments to make a good discussion and propose a good initiatives, right? So I feel like I and my team, I started to feel like a smart people in the table, right? Because yes, not literally, but yes, I have that data, I have the insight, I have the right answer for the questions. So, and I understand that value, that is something, and that skill it's something especially for commercial areas. And not anyone more in the rest of the areas has that combination. And so I start at this point, I want to develop my career behind the areas driving for data. Yeah. And I feel in love revenue growth management finally. It's more than 18 years ago.
I mean, it's so intriguing to see how diversified your background is first, and how those diversified backgrounds help you to reach the area which you are passionate about, that is obviously revenue growth management. So, with that being said, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced while driving RGM transformation initiatives at PepsiCo, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah. In the starting of my career, in the beginning of my career, maybe the main challenge was how I mentioned before, Coca-Cola, FEMSA were part of the first companies in Latam to work in RGM. So we were the pioneers. We need to create the capacity, invent the capacity, and after transform that in a culture inside the company. That is the biggest. It was the bigger challenge in that moment because you create anything from scratch, right? And try to understand which one were the layers inside RGM, and try to understand it's not only pricing, you can to move package, and you can design a new portfolio to try to get a new initiatives or new opportunities in the market, but you can move make more efficiency, promo, or the rest of the invest on the trade. And so it's part, you need to create everything from scratch, and after try to move inside all that knowledge across the organization, make the pollination or the evangelization of that knowledge was the first challenge. And after the another, it's still today, at least in Latam, it's so hard to find talent with the RGM skills, and based on that, you need to develop the profiles inside, and that's requires time. For me, that is at least today, is part of the challenge we have when I move a new organization, inclusive here in PepsiCo. Mm-hmm.
Correct. And I mean, that's where I think so AI, Gen AI and AI agents are coming into picture, right? Like, because we are seeing a space, or rather a gap, in terms of talent which we have, especially when it comes to RGM, which is so inclusive of everything which is happening around the organization. So, how do you see your role changing in RGM space with innovations like AI, Gen AI, AI agents coming into picture?
I think for revenue growth management, at least in my experience, because I was lucky because I always was in a big companies. Actually, it's adoption of new technology. That is something natural for RGM's team, right? Because we started, 15 years ago, creating a statistical model, after advancing to more sophisticated algorithms, and after to use the best infrastructure to create data lakes, to create solutions, or to create tools. And now we are adopting a new technology. How are advancing? Right now we have the AI, or we have the AI agents, or maybe we have a machine learning. Actually, in my opinion, is more sophisticated than the statistical model we made 15 years ago, but it's something natural. Only you need to keep up in the tech to take advantage of that. But for RGM's team, at least in experiences, it's natural. Which one is the hardest force that you need to do is how you convince and you influence the organization through the value RGM's area can bring, and bring more potential if they adapt the new technology, because you make more efficiency to make the analysis, to create the scenarios, and much smarter, and you can bring and so faster the different recommendations. But the influence you need to do is how you move the organization in the same velocity to adopt the new technology. But for me, the RGM profile is something that can adopt in natural way.
Correct. And I mean, Marcel, you have pointed out such an important point, that right now we see a rat race of AI adoption happening around various functionings of a business. But what truly matters is how we naturally adapt to the pace of data, and not forcing our data to adapt to what we want. And that's specifically true with RGM, and which would also need more people to be skilled and be upskilled rather about it and be informed about it. So which makes me think that I can see that training and capacity development are key part of your roles then. So can you tell us more about RGM Expert and how it is shaping the future of RGM talent at PepsiCo?
Yeah, that is interesting question because for me, everything we do inside RGM is about people or is through people. For me, is the key element in all the ecosystem and the RGM ecosystem. So through my career, I understand it's important to keep up and all the trends related with the new knowledge, related with the trends, related with the movement of the market, and related with the tech, right? Right now, RGM Expert is H programs designed totally ad hoc for the needs of 8 layers of the revenue management community. We designed, but in this case, we designed based on the first diagnosis I made in the company to understand which one is the maturity in terms of the hard and soft skills the RGM's people needs. So, and after that, we designed the program. We are working with many universities and we are working inside PepsiCo through the learning programs. Actually, we work with Harvard, Columbia, London Business School, Wharton, and many other institutions, educational institutions. But each year, we refresh the program. Which one is the objective is to make updated always. Yes, for many years ago, mostly of the RGM people is more focused in hard skills. Yeah, it's data scientists, engineers. Many people here maybe remember that. But now I understand that kind of skills, it's important. Of course, you need to know about RGM, you need to know about strategy, you need to know about all the tests you can use and programs and language and everything, or create algorithms and to use a new language. But now it's something is transforming naturally because you need to move and to create and develop soft skills in that people, because they are not investing a long time in crashing data or make analysis. They need to interpret it and make the right answer to the tools. Yeah. And after, they need to translate that to the rest of the organization into real strategy, into real initiative. For that, they need storytelling abilities. They need to be very good communications. They need to understand perfectly which one is the business strategy. They need to be a real business translator. Actually, I always joking with that. With something, I always say that the revenue growth the very good revenue growth management executive is like a platypus. You know what is? Yeah, because it's so rare. Yeah, if you can see the platypus, it looks like a duck, but it's a mammal, but put eggs, but has a poison. It's something similar to revenue growth management people, because some people has a very hard skills in terms of maybe he's a data scientist, but he has a very high analysis capacity. And for other side, they understand perfectly the business strategy. They can communicate all the analysis and transform that in business strategy. That is something so weird. It's difficult to develop that profile. That is the reason why we are putting focus to balance the revenue growth management expert continues working in hard skills, but more focus in how we develop the soft skills inside the RGM community and each layer of the organization. Depends on the particular needs of each layer.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I mean, that's such a basic yet such an important ideology to have, rather, because what usually we see is that most companies usually just target the top level of the RGM, and and just depend on them to train the other layers. But RGM in reality is very concentric in nature. That means that it's very connected to each other, and hence the need for upskilling only gets better, more and more urgent rather. So, how do you approach upskilling teams across different markets, especially considering the varying levels of maturity in RGM across Latin America?
I don't know. I saw in the screen many people in other regions in the world. So the first things you need to know, we have more than 40 countries in Latam. It's very heterogeneous, right? It's exactly the same with the knowledge and the talent, right? Maybe we have more concentrated in some countries, people more prepared for RGM, but now part of the strategy is create first the program, and actually the program consider that kind of particularity we have in the market, in this maturity in the market. So, but we are working in a fast track to leverage the upskill across organization. We have 3 different initiatives. The first one is the revenue growth management expert. The another one is revenue management university. Which one is that? Is a annual event. We put together all the community of revenue growth management. We spend a whole week and talk about innovation, talk about which one is the main change in the market. We are talking about which one is the new technology. We bring to the event different vendors. We would try to extract the more knowledge we can do. And after, we spend a long time sharing between us the best knowledge that we have in the region. That is part how we are leveraging in fast track the knowledge and create the harmonization, homologation of the in terms of leverage of the knowledge inside Latam. And for other side, we created an internal competition. By quarterly, we have a competition between the different OU and the different market. They put in the table the best practice they have and share with the rest of the community. This kind of channel allowed us to spread the knowledge across the organization. So yes, of course, we have a big market like a Brazil or like a Mexico have a huge structure in comparison with Honduras or Costa Rica or Colombia. But now the people inside is having average of the knowledge that needs to do, and we reinforce through the revenue growth management expert and invest more to leverage the knowledge that countries needs.
So what I see is that, or rather what I understand by what you said is the fact that the area which you work in first is very diverse, and not only in terms of having diverse needs, but also diverse language, and with so many countries under you, that means that there will be different mindset towards RGM too. So, and with AI coming into picture, there obviously is a lot of different mindsets and analogies going around it. So, in your experience, what are the biggest mindset shifts required for organizations and individuals as well to successfully embrace an AI-powered RGM approach?
I think many things you need to understand when this kind of technologies came to the market. The first one you need to change in your mind is something not stop, right? Is came to be here and to continue evolving. That is the first thing you need to understand. And another one you need to understand and adopt is because if you decide not adopt that technology, maybe the competition will do. Yeah, and if you hit first, maybe you can win or have of some advantage, right? That is the second one. The third one is maybe this kind of companies, the failure not is something allowed, right? But in this case, you need to love to love the afraid to failure, because the failure is part of the learning, and you need to invest, and maybe you failure, but you learn, and the next station, the next event, you don't start from scratch. You have that learn. That is part of the third one. Things are changing your mind, you need to have. And another one is, maybe I always talk with the companies and my people, you need to be always in beta version. I don't know what I mean, but yes, in beta version. Yes, because it's better progress versus over perfection. That is part of my philosophy. I try to introduce and I'm making section in my team and the company. That is necessary. If you need to be always in prototype version, right? So, and another things that the company needs to change is, because if I want to include this technology inside RGM, it's so hard if that's a strategy that is part of the global company. The global company needs to adopt, because it's so hard, it's so difficult if you want to include, if you are working in silos, because you need the rest of the organization, you need architects team, you need engineers team, you need all the IT teams, and you need all the inclusive human resource, because you need to work with them and change management, try to move influence the organization. You need all the organization, and this kind of change, really you need to embrace all the company. That is something that the company needs to understand. That is only a thing for revenue growth management. Mm-hmm. And you need the endorsement of all the company, because maybe if not, it's expensive. Maybe if not, you can failure easier. And for other side, maybe you invest a lot of money and you don't have success, and maybe you can lose the opportunity to advance. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean, you have pointed out two which people usually take as contradictory ideologies, is the fact that we need to be at par with the competitors first, but at the same time we shouldn't be afraid to fail, because that's how we learn. And I mean, that's the beauty of RGM processes. And that's why I truly believe that we should always believe, rather trust the process, because when it comes to RGM, there are so many levers which are at play, right? And there are so many cross-functional departments and so many cross-functional use cases coming together to deliver the insights which we need, right? So with that being said, and light of cross-functionality, what strategies do you use to foster cross-functional collaboration between RGM, finance, sales, and commercial teams?
That is so interesting question. Why? Because when I talk about how you enable the full ecosystem, I am talking about exactly in that point, right? The people knows about RGM know it's impossible execute the RGM initiative if you don't have all the ecosystem, talking about sales, finance, trade marketing, supply in the chain, right? Because the main task of function of the RGM is to create the initiatives, but not the execution. If you want to change the portfolio through pack and price, for example, using that lever, or if you want to move the level of pricing and make a price increase, or you want to make more efficiency your promo or maybe your agreements, you need the commercial areas, right? So which one is the best way I found through my experience how involved the rest of the team is create the end-to-end process. What exactly means is when you decide or design each process for enable or for move or to management a levers or RGM, you need to design the process start in the beginning with starting in the inside and finish in the execution, right? So you need to include each area, and creating the golden standard process is the best way how you can to influence the rest of the organization. But after that, you decide you have a challenge. You need to make a deploy. In that case is how you use the new soft skills of the RGM's teams for influence the rest of the organization. They can have the ability to communicate the results of the past initiative, or they have the ability to communicate a new strategy in a language all the rest of the organization can to understand, and they have the driving and the influence for the rest of the organization. You can connect each area through the process, but the key is design the process end to end. In my experience, that is the best way to try to connect with the different area, create way of working, routines, KPIs, and RASIs, of course, defining which one is the responsibility of each area between the end-to-end process.
Right. And also, Marcel, just out of curiosity, I mean, there's so much happening and there are so many layers which come into play, right? And it's not just one department or one functionality which we are targeting. And so in such cases, how do you keep the people informed? Because at the end of the day, RGM is about people, process, and technology, right? So how do we keep everybody in loop so that we get better insights from the process so that the execution is smooth?
Yeah, right now, when you develop or you try to evolve in a capability, you need to enable the full ecosystem. What exactly means? Of course, you work with the people, but not only with the RGM people, because you need to work in the culturization of the organization and pollinize inside the company the RGM knowledge. Because the first things the organization needs to understand is revenue growth management not is a function, not is an area, it's a mindset. And across the organization, you need to make that inception. That is the first thing. For other side, you need to work in the processes. Because maybe many companies, at least in the bigger companies in their work, have a mistake because they work, for example, to create the amazing tools, but they not prepare the organization in terms of people, in terms of processes. So have like a amazing Ferraris, but they don't have any people drive that Ferrari. So in my experience, I try to work in different pillars, in this case talking about people, processes, and technology. And based on that, I define my strategic framework. For example, right now, the three pillars I work to enable the full ecosystem is upskilling people, is the first one. Insight market is leverage the VAR in terms of inside market to have to read and right time the market and try to get which one is the new insight and put inside the algorithms and the methodology we are using to management the different levers of the revenue growth management. And for other side, digital and analytical acceleration. But it's the last one, yeah? Because we need to prepare first the organization. And in this point, yes, we made a lot of investment and effort creating the holistic platform to enable each level of the organization, right? But it's is only one piece of all the framework, all the puzzle, right?
And talking about having the infrastructure or data infrastructure for it, we can see that PepsiCo is investing heavily in AI driven analytics and global data lake for Revman solution. So can you share how this transformation is shaping the future of pricing and promotion?
Yes. The first thing I want to talk about is not is magic, right? You need to work a lot. In the case of PepsiCo, it's a journey. We have like maybe 7 years in this journey. First, creating the fundamentals or the foundation. What means exactly that is we work to have the data with the quality and available, at least for the key markets in Latam. And actually we continues working with the different countries, try to have the maximum coverage in terms of data and quality, and creating that data lake. Right now, after, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years working very hard in that, we have a global data lake with the main information that we need, and we are inputting a new insight, a new variables maybe we didn't consider in the past. That is the first thing. For other side, we taste the value of the with homemade tools in terms of pricing, in terms to design pack and price, in terms of measure the efficiency of the promo or the rest of the investment, and creating solution to management mix and assortment, right? But first we test in homemade tool the value. In working in that spot, we have the opportunity to self-finance our future right now, because we prove the value and bring value to the organization. Now, after maybe 5 years, we are ready to make the big jump to the digital and analytical platform. Exactly, we are creating, connected to the global data lake, a new platform with a very good infra and architecture, and we are working with a huge team, like 80% around the world, 80 people around the world, data scientists, engineers, architects, business analysts, PM, product owner, etc., and designing completely adopt to the company and needs and revenue management function, a holistic platform to enable 8 levers of the revenue, right? Talking about pricing, pack and price, mix and assortment, and of course, trade promotion optimization. And we are obtaining all the analysis in automatic ways. Maybe we spend a long time or a lot of hours in the past in a few minutes, right? So that is how it's necessary to transform the skills, because maybe in the past you need to invest a lot of time. Right now, you only need to interpret in the right way which one the outputs of that solution. And we are in that process, and actually we are moving faster to have a very good coverage, at least in Latam. But I need to know that design is part of the design of the global design. They are using the MVP. We are working right now in Latam to move that to do the global solution. It's amazing because yes, we are including machine learning, we are enhancing the current algorithms that we have right now, we are including optimizer and AI. Maybe the next step for me not is include AI agents. Maybe I prefer, because I know where is the value, to integrate with another digital solution in the commercial areas to bring an automated way the different output to through the different process and enable not only create the end-to-end process, plus to enable through technology the end-to-end process. For me, that is the second stage. And after, maybe I will thinking we need to include agents, AI agents.
Right. And I mean, what I even if we go towards agentic AI and AI agents into picture, the base of which is obviously machine learning and AI. I mean, these are all built upon one another, right? So having the core correct in order to have the right outputs is very important. So with machine learning and AI playing a bigger role in pricing and trade spend optimization, what skills do you believe will be most critical for RGM professionals in next 5 years?
To make the right questions. Yeah. For me, that is to make the right question and interpret the outputs of the tools, but after have a very, very good business translator. Because always, no matter what kind of technology you have in the company, revenue growth management always will be science and art. The people need to work more in their skills to develop the art and to be very good communicator with the organization and influence. So in my opinion, business translator or revenue growth management, or the platypus, I joking with that, needs to transform in the internal consulting across the organization. That is the next step. Because maybe with the technology, with the ability, with the new tools, maybe they not only can to influence commercial areas, in my opinion, can influence across organization. And maybe if we do that, maybe we can move to report directly, for example, to GM in the organization. Right? For me, that is the kind of transformation that RGM profiles need to do to move higher in the organization and to transform a real internal consulting inside the companies.
Right. We have few audience questions. One of them is asking, how long do you think will it take for agentic AI to become mainstream in RGM?
Depends. For example, if you have the data with the right architecture and you have some algorithms and you have some suite of visualization through dashboard and whatever technology you have, maybe it's easier to connect AI, but you need to have that. The first one you need to be sure you have in the quality way that the company needs is to have the data, because it's the feed the AI needs. So depends. Maybe in my case, if AI want to put in 1 year, AI agents try to respond. I remember, 7 years ago talking about Watson. I don't know how many here knows about Watson. That is a new technology, right? But what do you need? Do you need the data? If you don't have, maybe you spend a long time because you need to create the foundation first. If you have, in the right way, you can to connect quickly. That's new technology.
We have few more audience questions, but before taking those, we are going to transition into the fun part of this session, which we like to call the rapid fire round. So what we are going to do is I'm going to ask you a question, and then in few words you will have to tell us what you think about that, right? So It's going to be rapid and full of fire, as I like to call it. So my first question to you would be one word that best describes your approach to RGM.
Passionate. I love RGM.
And we can hear that. Trust me. What's one leadership lesson you learned the hard way?
Be patient. Be patient. Why? Because maybe I am like I run always, right? But when you want to be to do a big transformation, especially when you come a new company, you need to be patient, because the first things you need to understand is you need to hear, you need to learn, and after to propose.
Right.
That is the right path for the success. If not, maybe you fail.
I think so. We already know the answer to the next one. But if you could design a masterclass on one topic, what would it be?
I don't know, maybe. No, I don't know, maybe RGM Next Gen or something like that. Because try to introduce all the new concept that we have around RGM, right?
Okay, so one myth about RGM you'd like to burst?
The bigger, in my experience, is the organization thinks the RGM area or the RGM executive only works for RGM. That's not true. Actually, in my experience, many RGMs executive, a very good executive, could be better than more than commercial executive and more complete and treat like actually the GMs. Why? Because they have a very good combination, right? Have had a hard skills, but if they really develop all the soft skills they need to be a very good manager, they could be very good executive in other areas, inclusive like a GM.
Correct. My next question to you would be, what's the most exciting innovation according to you in RGM today?
Oh, in my opinion, it's nice to include AI agent, right? Because maybe many people could think that could be something bad, but not. Only they make your life more efficiency, right?
And even I'm very excited to see how AI agents are going to transform RGM, because with orchestrators and agents and AI systems and ecosystems coming into place with data maturity, I mean, RGM is only going to be more efficient when we talk about agentic AI in it, because it doesn't only automate your systems, but also it'll help you give better recommendations and even take decisions for you. So that'll leave a lot of room for us to, strategize more about what's more necessary to make things better when it comes to RGM and other insights and business innovations. So yeah, that's my personal favorite too. So your go-to book or resource for staying ahead in data and analytics?
I read many books related with RGM. Pricing for profitability, competition and analytics is for Harvard, for example. But yeah, depends of the trends you are hearing, and the more you find or you try to find some literature, right? But right now I am reading a very good, interesting book. Actually, it's from McKinsey. It's Reware. Yeah, it's a guide to how competitive in the age of the digital and AI era. It's nice because it's simple. Have a key message how you can take advantage of that technology and include in the organization. But it's easy to understand. Reware is the name of the book. From Wiley, but it's a McKinsey book.
Perfect. I think so. I have got my next read. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Okay, so since we talked about automation and automating RGM, so if AI could automate one part of RGM, what would you want it to be?
Yeah, actually, all the levers of the RGM scan the possibility to be automatized. Actually, it's exactly the big project we are working right now, and we prefer design inside the company. At least pricing, you can find a lot of tools, right, for pricing and for mixing assortment too, and to enable that trade promotion optimization process, like a post-mortem or making scenarios or something like that. Everything it's possible to automatize. Actually, it's part of the holistic platform we are designing inside PepsiCo, and you can find many solutions in the industry. Maybe I am excited because I am automatized of the OVPA process. I don't know the people here knows how, or maybe knows about OVPDC process. Is the pack and price design. It is how you make the reconfiguration of the portfolio, but in this case with new insight, with switching metrics, with purchase structure, and included all the consumption occasions inside. That is something is more art. I am trying to make the new algorithms with some people inside the organization to automatize that process. That is something new. Actually, right. I didn't find in the industry something or one solution completely or integral to enable the complete pack and price process. Right. I am excited for that. Maybe in the finish, and we have a quick pilot. And we have a very good result, and we are trying to automatize that process. I am excited for that.
Yeah, even, I mean, considering coming from PepsiCo, who is considered to be pioneers in price and pack architecture, it really excites me as a follower of PepsiCo's PPA that how this is going to happen. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yes. And my last question from this round is going to be your mantra for balancing strategy and execution in a fast-changing market.
The mantra is monitoring. It's monitoring. If you don't have the capacity to measure the execution, you don't have the ability to react in the right time. Yeah, if you have the capability to monitoring all the initiatives you put in the market, you can to make the balance between the strategy and the execution, because you have the possibility to correct if it's necessary and re-execute. For me, monitoring is the key, or tracking is the key.
Right. And I also feel that what you said is very related to what you do as well. Like, through different junctures of what we have been talking, I have been deducing the fact that you are a keen monitor, like keen tracker who like keeps a track of what's going to be connected to what. And I mean, when you talked about turning insights into proper execution, that's what we are doing. We are monitoring at every stage of the way. So I guess that's something that's going to be a personal takeaway, and even I'll start to inculcate this thing in my life. So, Marcelle, we have few more questions from audience. So the first one is, how do you see consumer behavior shifts influencing RGM strategies in LATAM, and any key trends brands should be prepared for?
Yeah. Actually, after the pandemic, many trends of the consumption change, right? So, if you remember, I mentioned that the second one, or the second pillar in my strategy, is insight markets. Keep up reading the market is how you can identify the new trends. Actually, after that, maybe the levers you need to manage them in the right way is pack and price. Why? Because if you remember, actually it is part of the trends right now. The value segment is increasing, right? That is part of the change. The private brands is increasing a lot. Yeah. And maybe that could be a big challenge for the companies. Right now, if you can read in the right way which one is in the new trends, you can identify new opportunities. For example, after pandemic, the trends of healthy, sustainability, differentiation to balance the right price, or the home consumption is something is increasing, right? Maybe you don't have the particular pro to attend that's kind of new trends or new preference of the consumer, right? So through the switching metrics, so the purchase structure or occasion consumption, you can design, identify the new opportunities to attend healthy people or sustainability people, or they are making a right balance between the price and the quality. A new segment are in the market right now, but you need to read. That is why, for me, the most important is how you are always on or always updated, reading the market and include new insight and new variables in your algorithms to optimize, in this case, pack and price. Because you are, through that, you are taking in the market that new segment and balancing your portfolio. And maybe this segment can finance or auto-finance the affordable strategy for the companies.
Correct. We also have one more question, which saying, how have you worked on use cases where AI has helped identify gaps in revenue streams? And if so, could you please share some examples with us?
Yeah, actually last year we have the very formal is forced to include AI and AI algorithms working with mix and assortment. If many people work here in revenue growth management, know the more difficult levers to move is mix. Why? Because the mix is very influenced for everything. Everything happens in the organization, right? So in this case, we design a solution to make to enable the complete process. The first model can to make the automatize with intelligence the process to make the SKU RAS or rationalization. Yeah. And the second model is to automatize the mix and assortment, right? To optimize the mix and assortment, the mix. And we include an AI inside that algorithms. We are in the middle of the deployment of that initiatives in the market today and obtain a very good results, because right now we have the very good argument with that technology, with that intelligence, with that kind of optimization to have a very good conversation, because always it's so hard to have the conversation about rationalization or which one is the right portfolio for each segment with the commercial teams. But you right now can you show the different scenarios and we can optimize, depends of the driver we can. Maybe we are talking about revenue, we are talking share, or we are talking about profitability. The tools with AI allow us to make the the optimization based on that kind of driver, and we are included real intelligence for do that. And that is something, it's good because you can show with the real case, with the real initiative, how you can help you, or the AI can help you to enable that process.
Correct. We do have few more questions, Marcel, but what I'll do is I'll ask, if you're open with it, we'll ask the audience to connect with you over your email or rather your LinkedIn, and maybe they'll get the answers there.
Okay, no problem, of course.
Thank you so much for that, Marcel. And I think so with that, we are coming to rather a very insightful session. I mean, there were a lot of notions which have been bursted here, yes. And there are a lot of insights which have been gained indeed. So thank you so much for sharing insights with us. And thank you so much for taking out time to talk to us and sharing your knowledge with us. It was truly an honor, and trust me when I say this, each and every member of this audience, I'm pretty sure, has gained a new concept which they are going to implement or rather monitor.
Thank you so much for the invitation. Really, it's a pleasure for me share with you the passion for RGM, for analytics, or this kind of concept and real application inside business. So, no, thank you so much. Polestar, thank you so much for the invitation.
It was truly an honor to have you, Marcel. And also for audience, we have dropped Marcel as well as my LinkedIn IDs and Polestar's marketing's email. So if in case you have any doubts, any queries, any insights to share with us, you have the link to our accounts, and we are more than happy to talk to you and engage in a conversation with you. So with that, we come to an end of today's fireside chat with Marcel, and we hope to see you again, Marcel, in with purpose initiatives, as well as we would love to talk to you more about RGM and how it's shaping the world around us.
Of course. Bye bye.
That's all from our side, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, and have a great day ahead.